Hey folks, my name is Dave. Welcome to my shop here at NTD Racing, where today we're putting together Langmuir Systems all-new CrossFire XR. We usually use plasma tables to build our desert race trucks. We use the CrossFire Pro to build most of the parts for Honcho. And then we're planning on using the XR as we build Honcho 2, which should look a little bit more like a trophy truck. All right, so up front, if you like what you see here today, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button and maybe leaving a comment. That definitely helps us out. If you're interested in one of these tables, you'll find a link in the description below on where you can buy one and get a discount if you're getting the CrossFire Pro. The XR will probably be later for the discounts, or you can go to www.ntdracing and click on store and see this table or all the things that we use in the shop. So the intent of this video today is not to go step by step through the instructions. It's really for me to maybe to highlight some of the things that I learned while I was building the table, and also just kind of give you a look at this brand new table. With that, let's go ahead and get to the build. All right, it's time to get started putting the XR together. And when I talked to Langmuir Systems, they said, you should be able to get to a frame and basically the basics. I got Ryan here helping me. He's stretching out. He needs to. Anyway, you should be able to get to the point where you got a frame in about 1 hour. So there's the clock. We're going to time it. Let's do this thing in 1 hour. So my first impressions as we start putting this thing together is that I'm really impressed and kind of glad that they do some mass production and take advantage of the investment that you need to make when you mass produce something, because everything fits. Nothing is like a one-off here. You know, they're all machine parts, and it's really well done. And secondly, I have built a metal building before, and it reminded me of working with structural steel. So I'm really happy to see that they're working with just some super durable stuff, and this thing is going to be just a really solid table. All right, well, it takes about 18 minutes to get to this point where you got the basic the square table here. Now we're gonna work on squaring it up and getting those side rails on, see if we can't get the gantry on before it's time for bed tonight. Well, there are a couple places in the instructions where they recommend having two people. This is definitely one I totally agree, just to get the side plates on the gantry, that center square tube, and then the nuts on both sides of the all thread. Definitely takes two sets of hands to do that easily. All right, here's the gantry. It's probably worth taking a quick look at those flanges that they talk about in the instructions. You can kind of see how this tube sits on this one right here and this one right here. It's actually pretty easy to do. I think the second time would be super easy to do it, and the first time definitely need two people to do this job. But once you got it on there, these two bolts, that all thread goes all the way through, and you tighten those things down to 30 foot-pounds just on one side, because obviously it tightens the other side. But besides that, this thing's ready to continue going. As you go to set the guide tubes on the side of the table, it really helps to have something that is measured at 1 1/4 inches. In my case, I had a piece of tube in my stock there that was 1 1/4 inches, so it made it really easy. I just set it on one side and then did the other side. Now they're both fixed at 1 1/4. If you don't have that, you might have a table saw, rip it down, a piece of wood down to 1 1/4 inch and use that on both sides. It'll definitely make the job a little bit easier than using a measuring tape. And then finally, it just seems like we spend a lot of time measuring and squaring and moving and measuring and squaring. And at the end of the day, I think, and you'll see why, that if you just get these rails as close as you possibly can right now, I think you can go back and just fine tune them perfectly. And I'll show you how I do that. This part was right here, kind of reminded me of the first time you start an engine in a car and it runs for the first time, that the sound and the feeling. And so to get the gantry on there and to see this thing basically roll back and forth across the rails smoothly, I thought that was a pretty cool moment. Definitely you can see the dimensions and how this thing is going to go together. And it goes together well the first time, and we're going to tighten up some of those dimensions with the rails here, and I'll show you that. Nice.
Well done. Was that 15 minutes?
Okay, here's the build and how it's going so far, and probably worth taking a quick walk around to show you what we got. We are following the build right now to the T, right out of the instructions, and the instructions are really good the way they're following. There are a couple things we're learning along the way. For example, this stabilizer. There's 4 of these things right here. They call these stabilizers. They're just these screws that kind of thread in here. And there's an Allen head screw that goes in here to hold that thing on there. And that's what sets this rail away from the side of the table. Well, there's 4 of them, and then there's also 4 holes in the side of the table. And when we try to put that rail on, one of them didn't line up on one side or the other. It just wouldn't line up. And so we were like, oh man, I'm gonna need to get the die grinder out and wall that hole out. Well, you don't have to do that. Just because if you see here, that what you can do is loosen up these button heads bolts right here, and then just slide that whole thing back or forth, maybe about 1/8 of an inch, to make those holes align so there's no wallowing out, and it works just fine. So that's working great. Let's go ahead and continue putting this table together. All right, a couple more lessons learned as we go along here. I thought I was gonna be smart and put the limit switches on after I had the gantry onto the table, just because I thought it'd be easier to work on it. But as it turns out, it isn't, because if you see down here, here is that limit switch, and here are the screws, and that screw on top will not go in with that guide tube there. So you got to put the limit switches in the order of the instructions. They were smarter than we are. So just make sure you don't do the same thing. The other thing is I took the measurements with the tube. You'll see in the instructions it says a measurement A, and then added to 1.75 or 1 3/4. And what I found is that I'm pretty darn close. And as you see, those rollers there are engaging the tube on both sides. But as I go over here to the other side, what you can kind of see as I zoom in there is you can see right there, there's a little bit of an air gap between those rollers. So what I'm going to do is take this stabilizer here, and I'm going to roll it out just about maybe 1/16 of an inch until I get that wheel to engage down there and up here. I'll roll the gantry to the other side. I'll do the same thing, and then I'll take the same measurements on both sides and make sure that they're within 1/32 of an inch like they recommend. And then it should be good as far as the alignment of the rails. Okay, we're gonna wrap up this video around this point. We're to the point now where we're gonna put the water table on, and that really locks down some of the dimensions of the table. So this is kind of a critical point, I think, to make sure you have everything just right. So I'm gonna go back and completely re-square the table one more time, because we nudged it, we bumped the table around. We wanna make sure that it's exactly square. And then second, and really critically, is they want you to make sure that these guide rails for the gantry are absolutely parallel. They say within 1/32 of an inch, and I think you can hit that pretty good. My problem, however, is that I find it's very difficult to measure the distance between 2 round tubes, just because wherever you put remember the tape measurer, up or down a little bit, you're gonna change that reading that you're seeing on your tape measure. So here's what I came up with. I had this piece of angle aluminum. I pulled it off my rack, so this is just some scrap. And you can imagine you can use anything out there. I find angle iron, angle aluminum work pretty good for this. I cut off some little pieces. They look like about maybe 2 inches. And then I put this obnoxious little C-clamp that I had. I never thought I'd find a use for them, but now I have. And I put one on both sides. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this down on the table on this end, and I'm gonna move these little 2-inch pieces until they are touching the tubes on both sides and there's no play. I'll pick it up and I'll take to the other side and make sure that it's exactly the same. And if it isn't, I'm gonna go ahead and move the guide rails in or out. Let me show you how I move those guide rails so we make sure we don't damage them. All right, how to move these rails without destroying them or bending them or something like that. And this is super important, and they talk about this in the instructions. I just wanted to talk about it because I'm gonna end up moving them about 3 times, so this ended up being a factor. They got 4 of these things they call stabilizers right here. They're basically screws with bolts, or all threads with bolts on them that go through there. And there's a bolt on the other side. There's 4 of them. What you wanna do is the first thing is take the 2 middle ones and loosen them up completely. Take them all the way to the end on the inside here, and then on the other side, take them to the outside. So they're totally free floating in there. There's no resistance from those. And then you can crack these loose and then just kind of turn them in or out as required to move that tube. Once they are locked in place with those tubes, then you can go back and redo these and reset those. And the way that they tell you to set these things is basically finger tight them on both sides and then put a wrench on this one to hold it in place while you tighten the other side. And that keeps the tube from moving in and out, because that will bend this tube, and that's not what you want it to do, because you want this gantry to move absolutely smoothly all the way across the table without any kind of binding. And this one does, and that was really without any adjustment. I'm going to go in and do a little bit more adjustment just to dial it in completely, because I don't want there to be any kind of binding which would affect cut quality later on. But right now I would say, man, it's looking pretty good. Well, all the measuring and moving is pretty tedious, so it is nice to get into some of these other parts which are machined and just go together really nicely. And if you got kids, this would be perfect for them. My 7-year-old would be doing this, but he's sawing logs right now, so that's me doing it. But parts all go together really well, and again, really impressed with this table. Let's see how quickly we can do this. The goal is to get the water table on today and have this thing cutting by tonight. A little ambitious, we'll see how we do. One more time, I'm going to ask if you like what you see here today, please consider hitting the like and subscribe and leave a comment, especially if you have a question, something I can answer in the next video, or I can just put the answers in the comments. One of the questions I did get in the comments was, do I need to have a forklift or a lift gate to take this thing out of my truck or off of my trailer? I think the answer to that is no. As long as you go to a place and they place the boxes on your trailer or in the back of your truck, once you get it home, I think you can break the boxes down while they're still in your truck. And then as opposed to having to deal with a 630-pound box, you can deal with the 20, 30-pound boxes that are inside there and then break the pallet down and trash it after that. So again, if you got a question, add it in the comments. I'll be happy to answer it. And with that, let's go ahead and get back to this build, and I'll see you tomorrow.